From the ancient myths of Trozen, a legend was born, whispered by the winds and etched into the very stones of Attica. This is the saga of Theseus, son of Aegeus, king of Athens, or perhaps, as some tales suggest, a scion of Poseidon, the oath-shaker himself. His lineage was shrouded in divine mystery, a testament to the extraordinary fate that awaited him. Before his birth, the Delphic oracle had spoken cryptic words to Aegeus, warning him not to unloose the foot of his wineskin until he reached Athens. Yet, in Trozen, with Aethra, daughter of King Theseus, the prophecy was fulfilled, and a hero was conceived, destined to walk a path of trials and triumphs. Aegeus, departing, left a sword and sandals beneath the mighty stone, a secret inheritance for a son strong enough to claim them. Years later, a youth of formidable strength and spirit emerged. Theseus, having retrieved his father's tokens, chose not the safe sea voyage, but the perilous land route to Athens, eager to prove his valor. Along this ancient road, the bards sang of monstrous men and cruel brigands who preyed upon travelers, each a dark challenge awaiting the nascent hero. First he encountered Periphetes, the club-bearer, who crushed wayfarers with his bronze weapon. Theseus, with swift cunning, disarmed and slew him, claiming the club as his own, a grim trophy of his burgeoning might. Next, the monstrous Sinis, the pine-bender, met his end, hoisted by his own cruel device, torn asunder by the very trees he used to torment others. The cliffs of Skiren claimed their next victim, not from the hero, but from the villain himself. Skiren, who forced travelers to wash his feet before kicking them into the sea for a giant turtle, was cast down to his own monstrous pet. Then came Sirion, the wrestler of Eleusis, who challenged all comers to a deadly grapple. Theseus, with superior skill, crushed him in a fatal embrace. Finally, the infamous Procrustes, the stretcher, whose iron bed was either too long or too short for his victims, met his gruesome fate. Theseus, with grim justice, fitted the host to his own bed, ending his reign of terror. Thus, the road to Athens, once a path of dread, was cleansed by the hero's hand, each victory a step closer to his destiny. Upon his arrival in Athens, Theseus found a city in turmoil, its king, Aegeus, under the sway of a sorceress Medea. She, recognizing the hero's true identity and fearing for her own son's claim to the throne, plotted against him. Medea convinced Aegeus that the stranger was a threat, urging him to poison the young hero at a feast. But as Theseus drew his sword to carve his meat, Aegeus recognized the familiar hilt, the very weapon he had left beneath the stone. The cup of poison was dashed aside, and father and son were reunited, their bond forged in the shadow of treachery. Medea, her schemes thwarted, fled Athens, leaving behind a city now aware of its true heir. Before the ultimate trial, Theseus faced another beast, the Marathonian bull, a creature of immense power that ravaged the Attic countryside. This was the same bull Heracles had brought from Crete, now a terror to the land. Theseus, with courage and strength, captured the raging beast and led it back to Athens, sacrificing it to Apollo, further cementing his heroic reputation. Yet, a darker shadow loomed over Athens, a grim tribute demanded by King Minos of Crete. Every 9 years, 7 Athenian youths and 7 maidens were sent to Crete, destined to be devoured by the monstrous Minotaur, a creature born of Pasiphae's unnatural union with a bull. This was the price for Athens' past transgression against Minos. Theseus, unable to bear this injustice, volunteered to be one of the 14, vowing to end the monstrous tribute. He sailed to Crete, his ship bearing black sails, a symbol of mourning, but with a promise to his father to hoist white sails upon his victorious return. In Crete, his destiny intertwined with Ariadne, daughter of King Minos, who fell deeply in love with the Athenian hero. Ariadne, guided by the cunning architect Daedalus, provided Theseus with a magical ball of thread, a clue to navigate the bewildering depths of the labyrinth. This intricate maze, designed by Daedalus himself, was an inescapable prison for all who entered, save for the one who held its secret. With the thread unwinding behind him, Theseus ventured into the heart of the darkness. Deep within the twisting passages, the hero confronted the Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull, a symbol of primal terror. The battle was fierce, a struggle between man and beast, courage against monstrous might. With his bare hands, or perhaps a sword, Theseus slew the beast, freeing Athens from its terrible curse. Following the thread back to the light, Theseus escaped the labyrinth with Ariadne and the rescued Athenians. They fled Crete under the cloak of night, but their journey was marred by tragedy. On the island of Naxos, Ariadne was abandoned either by Theseus's cruel design, divine intervention, or a misunderstanding lost to the ages. Her lament echoed across the waves, a poignant note in the hero's epic. As the ship neared the shores of Attica, Theseus, in his grief or forgetfulness, neglected to change the black sails to white. From the cliffs of Sunion, King Aegeus watched, his heart heavy with dread. Seeing the black sails, he believed his son had perished in Crete. Overwhelmed by despair, he cast himself into the sea, which forever after bore his name, the Aegean. Thus, Theseus returned to Athens not as a triumphant son to his father, but as a king, his reign inaugurated by profound sorrow. He proved to be a wise and just ruler, credited with the cynicism of Attica, uniting the disparate towns and villages into a single, powerful city-state. He established the Panathenaic Games and laid the foundations for Athenian democracy, a legacy that would echo through millennia. His thirst for adventure, however, remained unquenched. He journeyed to the land of the Amazons, fierce warrior women, and abducted their queen, Hippolyta or Antiope, bringing her back to Athens as his bride. This act sparked a war, the Amazonomachy, where the warrior women attacked Athens only to be repelled by Theseus and his forces. Later, with his loyal friend Pirithous, king of the Lapiths, Theseus embarked on a series of audacious quests. They attempted to abduct Helen of Sparta, then a young girl, and later descended into the underworld itself to claim Persephone for Pirithous. There they were trapped by Hades, bound to chairs of forgetfulness, until Heracles, on his own labors, rescued Theseus, leaving Pirithous to his eternal fate. In his later years, Theseus's fortunes turned. His people, perhaps weary of his constant adventures and the turmoil they brought, grew restless. He was eventually exiled from Athens, his city, the very place he had united and ruled with such distinction. He sought refuge on the island of Scyros, ruled by King Lycomedes. But even in exile, treachery found him. Lycomedes, fearing Theseus's renown, or perhaps instigated by his enemies, led the aging hero to a high cliff under the pretense of showing him the island's treasures. There, with a sudden push, Lycomedes cast Theseus to his death upon the rocks below. Thus ended the life of one of Greece's greatest heroes, not in glorious battle, but in a quiet, ignominious fall. Yet the death of Theseus was not the end of his story. His spirit, his deeds, and his reforms lived on, woven into the very fabric of Athenian identity. Centuries later, the Athenians, guided by an oracle, recovered his bones from Scyros and brought them back to Athens, interring them with great honor. His tomb became a sanctuary for the oppressed, a testament to his enduring legacy as a protector of the weak. From the ancient chroniclers like Plutarch and Apollodorus to the tragic poets Euripides and Sophocles, the tale of Theseus has been recounted and reinterpreted, a timeless epic of courage, sorrow, and the complex nature of heroism. He remains a figure of immense power and mystery, a king, a warrior, a reformer, whose labyrinthine path continues to captivate and inspire.